Once upon a time, three young men came together with a shared wish to make small machines that ordinary people could use. And from that wish, a company was born in a simple garage. Two of those men were friends who loved to take things apart and put them back together in new ways. One of them loved to design and sell ideas. The other loved to build and tinker with the parts. A third man joined them for a short while to help with the business side. They had little money, but they had big hope, long nights of work, and the belief that computers could one day sit on a desk in many homes. At first, their work was quiet and humble. They built one small board that could do the basic tasks of a computer when you added a few parts. They sold a small number of these early machines, and those first sales taught them two lessons that would guide them for decades: that careful craft matters, and that a simple but helpful product can find people who care. From that small start, they learned how to shape a better design, how to find customers, and how to turn a handmade idea into something more lasting. Soon, they made a clearer machine that looked more like the computers people would buy later. This new model brought sound, color, and a case that protected the parts inside. Schools and small shops began to use these machines to teach and to solve real-work problems. The company moved out of the garage and hired more people. Growth brought new voices and new choices, and with those choices came both bright moments and hard fights. The company wanted to change the world, and that wish led them to try bold and new things. One of these ideas was to make a machine that anyone could use with little training. The team worked to make the screen show pictures and words clearly, and to use a tool called a mouse so people could point and click instead of typing long commands. This idea of a friendly screen and a mouse changed how people thought about computers. It told them that a machine could be for making art, writing a story, or simply learning, not only for experts. The story of the company is also a story of people. At times, the work was full of love and strong hope. At other times, it was full of anger and parting. One of the founders left after a hard fight inside the company. He did not stop dreaming. He started new work and kept learning. The company continued without him for a while, but in time it found itself in trouble. It made many products that did not fit together. Customers were not sure which machine to choose. Money grew thin. The people inside the company tried many paths, and none solved everything. Then, after several years, the company brought back a leader who had left before. His return changed the tone of the company. He said no to many ideas and chose to focus on a few strong choices. He cared about how a product looked and how it felt in the hand. He wanted products to be simple, clear, and joyful to use. This focus gave rise to a bright and friendly computer that became a symbol. It showed the public that the company had a new life and a fresh voice. People began to smile again at the brand because the machines were not only useful, they were beautiful and easy. From the care for design came a new way of thinking. The company learned to ask small but powerful questions. How will a person feel when they touch this device? How will they learn to use it without a long manual? How can the shape and color make the task feel natural? Small answers to these questions shaped many products. The company learned to do long tests, to watch how people use machines, and to change small things until they felt right. They learned that success is often a set of small choices made well, not one big secret. They also learned to accept failure as part of the path. Many tests did not lead to a big success, but each failure taught one lesson: a better battery, a cleaner cable, a quieter sound, a simpler screen. Over time, those small lessons added up. The company did not stay only with big metal boxes and simple programs. It moved into music and then into phones. At first, the music device was a small player that fit in the pocket and made it easy to carry many songs. It showed the world that a product could be simple, focused, and loved by many people. The people who built it cared about the way it felt to hold the device, how the menu moved, and how easy it was to find a song with a finger. The lessons from that small music player helped the company make a new kind of phone. This new phone mixed many tools in one smooth body: a music player, a phone, and a small computer that fit in the hand. The phone had no many buttons. It had a touch screen you could control with your finger. When it arrived in the stores, people lined up. The device began to change how people do many small things in their day. Find a map, call a friend, listen to music, take a photo, read news, and learn something new. It showed that a phone could be a window to work, play, and learning. It also showed a new rule the company kept: make the hard parts invisible to the user so the simple parts can shine. The company also opened a place where small teams around the world could sell their small programs for the phone. This place let anyone with a good idea build a small tool and reach many people. That store changed an economy and opened a new path for small makers. It helped the phone to be more than just a single company's work. It became a place where many people could add value. The company learned that an open place for small makers can become a great engine of change. It taught them the value of partnership, not only to sell a product, but to invite many others to build on the product. When many people help, the whole thing becomes richer. As the company grew, it began to weave its machines into a larger family. Tablets appeared that sat between a phone and a laptop, and they made new ways to read, draw, and learn. Small watches came that could sit on the wrist and help people keep time, measure steps, and remind them to breathe. The company also built services that keep music, photos, and files safe and easy to reach from any of its machines. This family of devices and services formed a quiet promise that the work of many teams could come together to make the life of a person a little smoother. The idea was that a user could start a task on one device and move to another without a heavy thought. That promise made the products more useful and made people stick with the brand because they could trust the whole set of tools. The leaders of the company changed over time, and with new leaders came new choices. One leader who helped invent much of the early spirit stepped back and later died, leaving a deep silence in the minds of many who loved the company. Yet the company he helped build had new strengths: a clear voice, a wide family of users, and a large base of money to invest in new work. Under new leadership, the company kept many old lessons and also grew in new ways. It began to design its own core parts, the chips that make the machine run, so that the parts and the software could be built as one system. By designing both the body and the mind of the machines, the teams could make them faster and more efficient, and they could give users longer use on a single charge. That move into making chips was a long plan that helped the machines feel faster and quieter, and it showed the value of thinking many steps ahead. The company also reached into new fields that tested the way people live with technology. It worked on devices that changed the way we see the world with small screens placed near the eyes, and it worked on ways to bring sound and sight together so people can learn and play in new ways. Each new field brought questions of comfort, safety, and how the device will fit into a daily life. The teams had to think about weight, battery, how the device sits on the head, and how people will feel after using it for an hour. These are small human questions that shape the success of a product. Along with new fields came steady improvement in old parts: better cameras for clearer photos, faster chips for smoother tasks, brighter screens for easy reading, and battery improvements so a user can last a long day without a charge. When we watch the long history of the company, we can see many lessons for anyone who wants to build something. The first lesson is courage. The founders left safe paths because they believed in a future people could not yet see. The second lesson is craft. Careful engineering, patient testing, and the habit of making small things excellent add up to large change. The third lesson is focus. Keeping only a few strong ideas and saying no to 1,000 small temptations help to make those few ideas very good. The fourth lesson is partnership. Working with many others, from music companies to app makers, can turn a single device into an entire world of tools. The final lesson is patience. Progress often comes from slow testing and quiet work, rather than only from loud launches and bright ads. The company's path shows that failure is not the end but a teacher. Each failure helped the teams learn how to make something better the next time. For an English learner, the story of this company can teach more than facts and names. It can teach words about effort, risk, focus, and care. It can show how a small idea, shaped by many small choices, grows into a tool that many people use every day. The story is not only about money or fame,
It is about people who make tools to help other people think, create, and connect. It is about the quiet work behind bright adverts and quick speeches. It is about a simple habit of asking, how will this help one person? And then making that help better day by day. Remind the listeners that big changes often start with small steps, a brave choice, and a steady hand that keeps working even when the way is not clear. In the end, the company's long road shows a simple truth. Great things are rarely made by magic. They are made by people who listen, who test, who care for the small details, and who hold a clear idea close while they cut away what does not help. From a hand-built board in a garage to devices in millions of hands, the story is one of craft, design, and quiet focus. If you want to make something of your own, you can learn from this path. Start with one clear idea. Try it, listen to the people who use it, and make small improvements every day. Keep learning, keep caring about how your work feels to others, and have the courage to choose what to keep and what to let go. In that way, your small idea may grow into something that helps many people, and your quiet work may one day be part of a story someone else will tell.